guess we're doing this since this gentleman says that my logic is flawed. So wait, your child learned about slavery, the wars in America, the so-called Holocaust, but the Bible is a problem. Says that my logic is flawed. He goes on to say that the Bible is a history book. Because I responded to him, I said that actual history versus fiction. He says that the Bible is a history book and not a religious book. He can prove it. Actually, I would love to see you try. Then he says that, and you say that American history isn't fictional. Why do we have to do this, people? I mean, seriously. You're going to have an argument concerning Utah's ban of the Bible because of its violence and its sexual nature. Then at least come with an argument based on that, not some other argument that you desire to have. But since you want to have this argument, let's ride. Yes, my child will learn and has learned about American slavery, about the Holocaust, about the wars in America, because these are things that are documented visually, video-wise, pictures, things that we can actually find evidence of. For instance, we know that the World War II happened, but the wars fought by King David, we have actually no proof of those wars. We know that the Civil War actually happened. We have proof of those things. We can find the graves. We have all types of proof of that documented. But can you find the 300 different societies that were supposedly genocided by Moses and those in the Sinai Peninsula? No, absolutely zero history of that. We know that slavery in America happened. We have documented proof. We have all kinds of proof of that. But we have absolutely zero proof of Israelites, Hebrews, ever being slaves in Egypt. No proof of that at all. None. We have proof of the Trail of Tears in America, but we have absolutely no proof of the Exodus ever happening. We have proof of people who were born, lived, and died in America. All 44 presidents, or 43, whatever number we're on. But we have absolutely no proof of Adam, Cain, Abel, Seth, Noah, up to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Aaron. Has no proof. Absolutely none. No grave sites. No other historical documents other than what you are calling history as far as the Bible. Zero proof. Now, is American history told from the perspective of Europeans and their descendants? Yes. Is it told from the perspective of the ones who won the war and control the government and politics and government and politics, same thing. Government, money, economics, and all of that? Yes. Is it told from a perspective, a truth based on a perspective of the winning group? Yes, it is. Which allows for you to find evidence of other things happening, people burying information, hiding information, taking people's patents, things of that nature. You can find that in American history, but it is still based on facts. We know the car was made. We know Henry Ford created the factory, the plant, but we know where he got the idea from. We know it wasn't his original idea, that he got it from a brother. We know that. So can we find things of that nature? Yes. But in the Bible, we can't find proof. There is no proof of Mark, Luke, Matthew, John, Paul, none of them. There's no proof of them. There's no physical proof of your Jesus. If I write about a character today, a person who lived today, and I write a fictitious character, just because somebody else agrees and writes about that character 200 years from now does not validate that that character actually existed. So don't come with Tacitus, don't come with Pliny, don't come with none of those people. because none of them lived during that time, and it was only writing about what people believed happened, not what actually happened. The 120 something odd historians who lived during this so-called time frame of Jesus never wrote about Jesus. And if you accept Tacitus, then also accept that he wrote that Vespasian performed similar miracles to your Jesus by the behest of Serapis. You can't have one without the other. If you're going to accept Tacitus, you must accept that as well. So, yeah, your Bible is not history. Does it contain some places that exist and existed? Yes. Does it contain a few people that actually existed? Pontius Pilate was a person who existed. There's Roman documents showing his growth and his governorship, even though he wasn't the governor during the time that Jesus supposedly died. That was a different governor. That was Quintius. But did Nimrod exist? Did Xerxes exist? Yes, we have archaeological proof of Xerxes' kingdom, his reign, both in the Levant as well as in Turkey, as well as in Greece. We have proof of that. We have archaeological evidence of his existence. Darius the Persian, we have proof of his existence. Darius is in your Bible. Does that validate your religion? Did they capture that area of the Levant and hold the southern kingdom of Judah as a vassal state and release the northern Israelis so that they can go back and continue the vassal state in Israel, in the kingdom of Israel? Yes, that you can say. But does that validate Abraham? No, it does not validate Abraham existed just because that happened in actual history. So, sir, if you can prove it, I would be very open to your proof. But if it's the same rhetoric of proof of Pliny and Tacitus and people of that nature who were not there, who only wrote stories based on what people believe, if you don't have documentation, which is the lightest version of proof, but if you don't have any archaeological evidence of an actual Jesus, of an actual Abraham. Abraham told you where he was buried. Sarah was buried, same place. Jacob is supposed to be buried. Joseph is supposed to be buried. I think Leah is supposed to be buried there. So he tells you exactly where it is. Dig it up. Find the bones with the epitaphs around it that lets you know who this is. How do we know that Egyptian pharaohs are the bodies that's been mummified? Because it got all the information around it saying who that person is. Can we 100% validate that through DNA? Hell no. But all these circumstantial evidence points to this is Tutankhamun. This is who Ramos is, even though the body wasn't in Ramoses' tomb. Do you understand what I'm saying? He had a tomb built for him so that he can be there until the worship of the Akhten left, and he left and went to, guess where? The Levant with monotheism. Yeah. And then a few hundred years later, you get the first mentionings of Israelis. But anyway, bro, I appreciate you. I really do. But prove it. And yes, the overwhelming majority of American history is truth, is proof, is facts of the events and the people. As far as who did what, some of that based on racism and colonization and power has been changed and attributed to other people. So are there errors? Yes, there are. But yeah, my kids will they have learned about those histories, but they did not, until they were much older, learn about this fake biblical so-called history, which is just propaganda, because the Bible is written as propaganda for the Hebrew people. And that's it. That's all. So free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.